Like these guys, you get it.
Yeah,
It's
who
like
knows?
Vikings, like 5 men. Oh, look, it's parts of us combined together. Yeah, and we're 5 men.
Right. Five dudes.
No, that's a different team.
Is there a five dudes team?
Probably down in like I don't know, Division 10.
Right.
Let's focus on this lore. We actually have got into the second phase of the picks, and we are getting a little bit of a clearer picture of what's happening here. So far, we're
Actually,
not.
you know what it was?
What?
It was this draft. This is exactly what Mud Golem said yesterday.
Oh,
And then this is where they picked the anti-mage Mud
that's
Golems. That's the game one
they
against
don't
5 men.
they don't third pick anti mage, right?
I think they picked Bat and then anti-mage, right? Yeah, so this is
Maybe
kind
it
of similar.
was.
I'm pretty sure it
It
is.
was
I think it
definitely
was Tiny
second
Enchantress
phase.
Bat. Yeah, no, it was an anti-mage, I think, in the fourth pick there, I think. And then
Because
there
that,
was
that
a
was
troll.
the match that got like messed with a little bit because we had
No,
the
no, no, no,
connection
no, no.
issues.
You're right. Actually, it was
Yeah, it
the
was
third
third
pick
pick.
anti-mage, third pick anti-mage into then fourth pick troll and fourth pick Batrider. That's how it was. Okay.
Okay.
So now we got the Spectre. At least I quite like this. This is a nice Spectre pick, I think. Um, Interesting to see what carry 5 men choose to go for. Like the standard kind
We're
of
running
like
out of
phases
options.
void. I mean, honestly, I feel like maybe you just go Lifestealer here. If they don't ban it out right now, Viking, I think like this is a really nice Lifestealer game. You're good against all heroes, all 4 heroes of Viking, and you're gonna have Empower, so you're gonna be able to farm faster. And yeah, it just seems like I like the Tiny's gonna have a very tough time finding impact. Yeah, okay, so they're gonna ban out this Lifestealer because I feel like that's just too free of a game. But I'm curious what they're gonna go for now because there are no other like equally good, I would say, carries. Potentially they might think of something like a PL or PA. Just you want something that doesn't get screwed over that much by the Batrider.
Hmm. I definitely feel it limited here. I mean, Viking have done a really good job of just shutting out all these typical Magnus partners.
Yeah, I mean potentially. I mean this is still right now at least it's a really good PL game. Even though the hero is not amazing, it's still a very very good PL game. So if the last pick is weak against PI, I think you can still just go for it probably.
See if Viking covers that basis because that is one thing. Once you get past that mid game, the wave like the AOE damage is pretty limited.
Yeah, very very much so. Even with the Radiant Spectre, you could still struggle quite a lot, as none of these other heroes can actually deal with illusions at all.
I feel like Viking kind of need a frontliner right now because they've got a lot of initiation, got decent catch.
I mean, Spectre's a decent frontliner. I feel like here you just I think this is a nice PO game still, even though there's an Invoker. I think it should
Okay.
not be a problem. I think it's one of your options. You could still go for the PA. The PA might struggle a little bit against the Batrider in lane though, so that's why I'm looking at different heroes that can actually just be fine against Bat. Is there a Slark still? Okay, I mean they're probably
There
just
is a
gonna
lot of carry bans, but there is
they might
still a
actually
Slark.
just go Slark. Yeah, it seems it might be more. It might be an easier game to just play it.
I like them more than
That
the
way.
PA suggestion because then like PA in this type of
Yeah,
game, if Tiny
the
gets a good
PA kind of
start,
struggles. Definitely, yeah, the PA could struggle. Of course, like if the PA does survive the lane, I think it's a great PA game. Invoker, Batrider, Enchantress, they're all easy targets, easy pickings. But I think both Slark and PO, one of the two should be the hero here, as they're both quite good against Batrider, and they can be paired up with Magnus. So
and they actually choose the PL in the end. So the less
yeah,
there's less popular of the two at the moment.
yeah. I mean, it's just like I think carry player preference at that point. You just ask the player like, okay, you see this game, you have your last hero. What hero do you want to play here? And okay, Ace says Phantom Lancer. Like he would rather play it than a Slark, and then that's what you get.
I like to imagine that conversation goes like a little bit differently. It goes, okay, Ace, what hero do you want to play? Ursa, no. CK, no. PL, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so though, because the thing is, I feel like a carry player, like at least at this level, like you know your matchups quite well. I think, or at
Yeah.
least I figure like a lot of the carry players by now they should understand their matchups.
Oh yeah, I was imagining that kind of lieu of just it already the kind of captain going, okay, pick what you want, and it's actually him saying, pick one of these two, right here. But we'll see how this goes. I mean, as you said, it's decent against the Batrider on the lane. Is there a concern about Viking just kind of outpacing 5 men though with this type of draft?
I mean, the thing is, I think this Magnus Rubik lane is quite strong. Like, I don't know how the Spectre will do, because the thing is, Magnus and Rubik they're kind of suppressive, right? Like the Fade Wall from Rubik removes damage from this Spectre, and Magnus just with Empower, I think they should just be able to sit in this lane and last it. And I feel like there's not too much. I mean, this Enchantress has a lot of work to do in this lane. Like, she has to come out with some big creeps and throw out a lot of harassment for the Spectre to be sitting there and be fine. So I feel like Magnus should be fine. I think the mid lane, the Queen of Pain versus Invoker, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like they're just gonna kind of trade farm, and then I think this Peel should just be, he should be pretty happy. He has a Nature's Prophet to back him up, and although maybe it's not the best Nature's Prophet 5 game, you know, you're up against both Batrider and Tiny, I think the Peel should still be just fine, and he should just get his farm, and yeah, when he then meets up with his Magnus, he's gonna be farming quite fast. And if Viking don't really, like, they need to start moving early. They need to get a lot of rotations in early, and
that's the big concern, right? Is because 5 men have a pretty interesting lineup, and that they've got the means to farm excessively with the PL and the Magnus, right? But what they also have is these very good split push heroes with the Quap and the Prophet. So it feels like if Viking don't close the map quickly, 5 men will, and all of a sudden you have to slap on the Benny Hills theme tune as you watch Viking run around the map.
30 seconds
right.
and counting.
I wonder how Boom's going to go about this. Like, he has started with a point in Quas. I'm assuming this is going to be a Quaswex Invoker, you know, just building like support items.
I think it's probably going to be Quaswex. I mean, he needs to get a lot of levels, right? Like, for Invoker to actually be countering Peel somewhat, you need to have Point in Meteor and Deafening Blast, right? Those are kind of the spells that deal with Peel. It's just the fact that, you know, like, once Peel gets to this, if Peel gets to, like, level, what is it, 16, 17, something like this with Manta Diffusal, I think it becomes a very difficult game for Viking here.
Yeah, I think if you're a Viking, you'd not want to go into that hyper late game scenario, even with a Spectre.
No, for sure not. Even though you have the Spectre, you definitely don't want to go really late against Peel. Just their other heroes just can't deal with this hero, right? Like in even Spectre, yeah, you can kind of square up against Peel to some extent, but you're not really gonna win that fight still, right? You're gonna trade kind of evenly, but still Peel just burns the mana of all your allies or of you, and then yeah, you're pretty done.
And you're against mobile heroes that could build Silver Edge as well, right? So you won't even feel tanky if you get into that like 5-6 slotted stage of the game.
Yeah, and 5 men putting on a lot of pressure here in this top lane already.
Yeah, they force out the early Nature's Attendant point,
and Toby doesn't have a. Toby doesn't have a. Okay, now he just flew in his out there because he was very low. And they're gonna pull some waves here. I think this is quite necessary for them.
It's just how can you
the creeps
get
alive?
Well, I was gonna say it's that case of like how do you get back to the point where he's gonna be okay on his own, right? Because if you're Aramis in this game, you're looking for that opportunity to start moving about.
When the Batrider is okay, you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, once Batrider gets like level 3 or whatever, like they're not really gonna pressure the Batrider that much, I think, in this lane. It's just gonna be the fact that it's difficult to pressure the Peel. So both the Nature's Prophet and the Tiny might be kind of free to do what they want a lot of the time. I think it's just gonna be more so, how do you stop the Peel from farming? And the answer is, well, you can't. You know, unless they make some wonky mistakes, then this Peel should just be farming in this lane.
And then I guess the other thing for Viking is that when you look at the other lanes, like, okay, so if we're trying to win elsewhere, where do we do it? Well, mid is a good place to start, as actually, it looked like Chessie played a little bit too far forward and was getting aggressive on a Boom. Instantly regretted it.
Yeah, and he also, you can see that he went for the no points in Blink build, so he went for the Shadow Strike Scream of Pain build, and he gets punished for it.
Yeah, it's kind of become predictable at this stage, right? Like you get a point and blink soon though, so I guess you, as this lane goes on, even though you give over that kill, you're not going to be too concerned about the threat of a tiny looming around the mid lane as this goes on.
No, yeah, you're not really gonna have to fear the tiny. Chessie though taking quite a bit of damage there. And Boom has this, you know, the Quas with some tango, so he is able to sustain through these Shadow Strike.
His mana situation's a bit rough though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has got a Mango coming out to fix that. It's usually one of the big things when you're playing Invoker, right? It's more about the mana budgeting. So talk about that in the
actually
bot lane.
finds a kill onto Pi.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean, the
level
Nature's
2.
Prophet is kind of susceptible to getting attacked in this lane. You know, he doesn't really have any ways of escaping from the Tiny and the Batrider. It does mean, though, that the Phantom Lancer is going to keep free farming, right? Like you see on the Batrider CS, yeah, he gets this kill, but he's still just level 2 with 8 CS.
Yeah, I think the surprising part is that it came at level 2, right? Like if you're Pi, you're probably looking going, level 3, that's where they'll seek to destroy me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit caught out. Hasn't given the tangos across the... There we go. Stack that peel up with his regen. So far in the top, though, they haven't really forced Shad away. He's getting decent CS. Yes, it's not as good as what the PL's having in the bot lane. But I feel like this... The way this is working out with Celery's pressure, it's almost like 5 men aren't getting to like alleviate as much damage as they should at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think Celery's doing a good job here, just trying to harass these heroes. He has this mana burn creep. And yeah, they're gonna trade. I mean, this is very, very favorable for the Phantom Lancer here. Like any sort of trades, you're gonna be very happy as a PL. The Nature's Prophet just gets to come back to lane, whether it's through teleportation or with his support scroll. It doesn't matter. He can bring items for the Phantom Lancer, and yeah, you're giving up kills on your Tiny.
So the argument here, Pi's perspective is like, I'm a courier that never stays dead for long. Don't worry, Ace.
Yeah,
I'll
pretty
wait here
much.
until you got more items.
Yeah, no, I mean, you say it
Oh.
jokingly, but he is pretty much a courier that delivers items, and he tries to hit the enemies a little bit, but
I mean, he's a cannibalizing courier because he just sniped out Booms in the mid lane. Nice little rotation. And he even slaps down a ward afterwards, so next time he'll be ready to go again. I don't know if Boom's going to expect that either.
yeah, Pi also trying to hit Boom a bit, just mess a little bit with him, just kind of feed away some treants.
Yeah, let's screw
But
over
he's giving
this
Chessie some
3-point
space,
boss Invoker. He definitely cares. It's kind of weird to actually think how that like kill happened at the start lane, right? Because you don't usually look at a Quaswex Invoker and say he's going to make kills happen unless there's a rotation.
I think potentially the Queen of Pain was just looking to run in and get a Shadow Strike off. Stepped just a little bit, got the aggro of some creeps, a Cold Snap and a Tornado, and then yeah, all of a sudden you're a dead Queen of Pain.
Yeah, so far Boom has actually done a good job on that front. Like whenever Cole snaps off cooldown, he doesn't hesitate. You can already see Chessie. He needs a rune. If he doesn't get the 6-minute one, he's going to just have to go all the way back. And he decides not to hang around. He's going to do the Walk of Shame.
Yeah, so far I think the Spectre he's been farming quite well. I'm surprised that he's doing this well in the lane. I'm thinking Enchantress must have offset a lot of the kind of a pressure that the Rubik and Magnus kind of put on. So
Do you think this is like an in a vacuum kind of feeling when we compare these? Because when we're talking about the Rubik and the Magnus versus the Ench and the Spectre, we're like, yeah, that's a really good lane for 5 men. But say we split that into Rubik versus Spectre and then Ench versus... Magnus versus
Spectre.
Yeah. And
I mean, I
Ench
think
versus Rubik.
Magnus. I think Enchantress is probably stronger than Rubik in that scenario, and I think that Magnus is probably stronger than Spectre. You know, if you put it in a vacuum. So I think freeing up the 1v1 should favor the Magnus.
So Celery's just a god.
Celery's probably just doing a lot of work, yeah.
And of course, the other thing that he's getting a lot more than the Rubik is CS, because he's able to jungle on the side. They're going to at least pressure Shad a little bit here. Seabait doesn't have a point in the skewer though, and Shad will realize it very quickly as he moves away. He'll find the level into it, but it's too late.
Yeah, finally they're putting on at least some pressure right now, and then the Spectre is gonna have to, you know, he's gonna have to send more regen and deal with it. Then sneaky deny there by Celery.
Or instead of sending regen.
Yeah, and also another thing, this like Chessie's struggling quite a bit. Like you can see, like in terms of CS, it's kind of even. Like Boom is only 4 ahead, but he got that solo kill, and it's also not just about that. Chessy has been, I think he sent out like 4 or 5 salves or something by this point, and Boom is just sustaining with his boss, so Chessy's using a lot of gold on regen here.
That's an interesting point as well, because I don't know if I'd say this is the way you perceive this matchup going, right? Like, maybe you force a bit more regen to be ferried out for Chessy, but you don't expect, the Invoker, the Quaspex Invoker, to be the killer necessarily.
No, I don't think that kill should have happened, and we might actually see another kill here. Yep.
Aramis is on point with the rotation.
Yeah, now it becomes a little bit annoying for you. Now you have this level 8 Invoker. Yeah, Queen of Pain is just about to hit 7, so it's not, too big a difference, but you're definitely hurting a bit. However, you do have this Phantom Lancer. He's gonna send out this Wraithband Treads now. He's off to a great start here. And the Magnus has maxed out in power, so I mean he's soon gonna have that maxed out in power, so
yeah, so they should begin to accelerate. While when you look at Viking, like, how do they get gold? It really is the kills.
Yeah,
and speaking of which,
again, man, he's getting pressured quite a lot here.
It's because Aramis is free. Like, Toby can just sit on the bot lane. He knows he can't really contest Ace directly, but Ace can't really stop him from farming either. Top though, they're trying to kill off Celery. This is not a quick kill. They got the Fade Bolt, and they do have the final hit to kill him though.
Yeah, Ace has to be a little bit careful now that the lasso is there for Toby, if he wants to use it. If he uses this doppelganger, potentially he could be in trouble.
Somebody's doing
there, but they see the Tiny, so yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that he sees the Tiny right now, so he doesn't have to be that scared.
If I'm Miz in the top lane,
another kill,
and Boom's not done yet, he wants Pie die as well. I think Pie doesn't, he doesn't even want to try for TP. Now we'll go, but it's too late.
Wow, that was actually very, very close.
Mm-hmm. Calculated from Boom. He even switched over to the Wets. More bot. They're actually trying to go for Ace now. Toss back. And he has got the Doppelganger, but he won't get a chance to use it as the last suit does come out.
And he gets caught out. I mean, he had the chance there to jump before the Tiny stun there, but he waited just a little bit too long, and he gets punished for it. And I feel like that really shouldn't be happening since he does have that ward, but yeah, just sticking around a little bit too long.
Do you think that's kind of like the efficiency brain backfiring, where you're like, well, if I Doppelganger, I can't come up and hit creeps until it's off cooldown?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is you just always want to just hold your can, right? Like, you don't want to waste and just, if someone is actually not forcing you to do it, then you don't want to do it, but at the same time, you also don't want to just stay that extra half a second too long.
Misery, he realizes now he shouldn't have been here. This is not a safe place, as Aramis will just go in, club him down. Doesn't have enough to finish him off, though. He gets baited in. Sonic Wave. Oh, no. They do have the skewer, though. Seabay, he shows up to clean up. Highlight Die, however, is going to be the one to be cleaned up. Being brought low, Toby will go back in for the final click and is able to back away. Seabay, he does have that RP, but he's already used the skewer and they know it.
Ah, that Sonic Wave, though. Chessy not having a good game. I mean, he's probably feeling like the pressure. Like, he lost his lane quite heavily. And now with the whiffed Sonic Wave, he's maybe starting to overthink things.
Do you ever find it hard to kind of move past that moment, right? Because we were saying, I don't know if this should have been a first blood for an Invoker at the start. Do you think that that's maybe kind of weighing on him a bit and he's kind of already analyzing something that needs to wait until later? Think about?
Yeah, I mean, potentially. Like, it just depends on kind of how you take it and how your allies, if someone is kind of harping on your mistakes, then you can get annoyed and he can get to you, but...
Have you ever had a teammate like that?
I've had plenty of teammates like that, yes.
What, in pro teams?
In pro teams, yes.
I'm not going to ask specifics. I'm just going to say, is it more like the early days ago, or are we talking recent years?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think there are people who do it, like Boom, and Boom is actually putting in so much work this game, and
what? He's on fire, which
yeah, it's
ironic for a 1-point
he's making it work. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a thing that's just it happens from time to time. There's also different levels to it, right? Like, you can do it in a very bad way, you can do it in a slightly bad. There are so many. It's quite nuanced, right? It's not just
Yeah, like I can
completely cut-
imagine
clear cut.
after like the game, but in the game sort of sounds crazy to me. Like especially in recent years for that to even happen. See, babe? Boom is just getting out
I
of
think
control.
during important tournaments, it's something that I would say is very rare. But during like scrims and maybe lesser important, maybe online matches and stuff like this, I think things like this can happen. Oh, Chessy now. He might be in trouble here.
Yep, Toby's there. Where you
Yep.
going?
He is
You'll find
dead.
him. They're like, no, this is not a lasso used for right now. I'm just gonna run you down. This is a rough comparison. We just said how, you know, on fire Boom is, amazing performance, and then the absolute kind of polar opposite in this game really is Chessie's game. It's not going well. Ugh. Just
Yeah,
gonna have to
definitely
hope
struggling.
that Ace can carry you later on, I guess. My only concern is you know, don't like to just trivialize it down to basic net worth numbers, but when I have a look at that net worth chart and I see who's on top in the top 3, doesn't bode well for your rely on the PL later strategy.
No, and I'm also curious now. Okay, with see here, Ace is getting doppelganger off.
Yeah, easy
They
this
just
time.
have to fight the
Oh,
right one.
Jesse does arrive, Sonic Wave out, and Toby's
Nice.
gone. Nice sync up with the Wrath of Nature from Pyrelight Die. Aramis toss across, Nature's Prophet
Yeah.
far away.
They pretty much all of them lost their mana though. Arcane
Mm-hmm.
Boots, Magnus. Good job. All right, so yeah, very nice kills finding there. Both the, of course, the big streak there. Chessy found it on Toby, and also finding this the Enchantress now. But yeah, it was a really good EMP there by Boom. Like pretty much all of the heroes just ran out of mana. I'm curious though. Like Ace has queued up this Yasha. His Courier is dead. I'm just curious if do you need to go faster into this diffusal, just just to make sure that you're able to fight early on, because they are kind of getting run at quite a bit right now.
Yeah, and it is very effective against a lot of these heroes, right? Tiny, the Bat Rider as well. These are the type of heroes that don't have big mana pools, but they're very reliant on the spells.
Yeah, Chessy is also now very close to finishing up his Orchids, so they are finding quite a lot of good things here. 5 men.
It's just that case like, when's your go? I mean, Mag, he's smoked up right now, but he hasn't gone for a blink yet. Doesn't really got the money.
Yeah, I think he's going into some sort of hood build, most likely. Maybe into an early pipe even, because a lot of Vikings damage is magic.
D-Bet. Skewer in, and the tornado comes out from him in time, but the RP is going to be there afterwards. And the steal on the tornado from Misery. We'll be able to use that to stop Toby from pursuing too quick, but the last two will still come out. They'll drag through Chessy. Avalanche follow-up is good enough to bring him down, and Misery is next on the meal list. With nowhere to run or hide.
Yeah, so they do find like the Invoker finally, but nice double kill there for Aramis, and that's gonna be his Blink Dagger flying out to him right now.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it's not just Boom who's probably going to start, you know, having that big impact that we're going to be talking about. Like, this is a decent timing for a Blink Dagger on a tiny 4.
And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, a hero that we
Oh.
have pretty much not yet talked about is the Midas queued up Radiant Spectre here, just free farming pretty much the entire game.
This feels like a good game for a Midas, right? Like, I don't think you try and all in on, like, the early Spectre build with things like drums, for example.
No, this is definitely a game where you need to go Radiance, whether you do with the Midas or not, that's up to you. He's obviously gonna get some more levels this way, and he's gonna get towards his later items faster this way. But yeah, this is definitely a game where you have to go Radiance. You're up against the Phantom Lancer, and so you need anything you can get that helps deal with those
Boom.
illusions.
He does see Pala die. They realize diving is a bad idea here, though.
Yeah, it's also just you don't want to commit too much to this Nature's Prophet 5. Like, this is kind of the beauty of having this Nature's Prophet 5 like this. He can just push with his treants, and he can just sit here, and if they kill him, okay, they kill him, He doesn't really have to care. He would just port back when he spawns. And if not, he's just going to sit here and hit creeps. And he can still join the fight no matter where it is, so... A good setup right now for 5 men in terms of how they're playing the map.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those 5s. There's like a category, right, where it's not feeding, it's space creation. Nature's Prophet's in there, like Jakiros, if they get ganked and they're shoving a lane, like, oh, if I just drop macro part, then this is fine. Because they can't push here, and I've done my part. I've drawn them away from other areas of the map. And there's people in the other area of the map. They were thinking about smoking. Misery's got one on him. But it's almost like they know they're under vision. There it is. Gonna get rid of it. mean, I thought they were going to go for a smoke play. They just kind of seem to be lingering in this area right now. Because I don't think there's anything they're immediately waiting for. Because Seabit is going towards the mech next. And, like, Chessie nowhere near this BKB.
Yeah, and Ace does have his completed defusal now. So they could look to get a little bit more active if they wanted to. Also some nice neutral items for Ace here. He's got the Vambrace together with the Yasha Wraith Band and the Empower. It's a lot of damage on this Phantom Lancer already. The one thing you have to be careful with later on in this game is you don't necessarily want to throw out the Empower on the Phantom Lancer during fights, because then it becomes easy to spot the real Phantom Lancer. However,
Yeah.
when it comes to just farming, of course, it helps you accelerate your farm quite a lot.
Oh, Lasso, mid lane, Seabait being dragged away from safety, and with the Avalanche tossed there to follow up if needed, you'll be able to bring him down. I'm not sure if there's any immediate objective in mind for Viking though. This just seem it's kind of the nice thing about like eliminating the Magnus though, right? Is like even if there's no after objective, you've just removed the Empower buffer from their carry.
Yeah, I mean, he's still gonna have the Empower for a bit. It's gonna run out now, but yeah, it's not like the Phantom Lancer actually lost that much farm during this. He pretty much had Empower the entirety of the duration. And he's also kind of now, he's starting to become fine to just farm on his own. However, I feel like they should be thinking of how to apply a little bit of pressure on their own, because this Spectre he does have his Relic now on top of the Midas, so getting quite close to that Radiance.
Meanwhile, Pally is just off attempting shenanigans.
Yeah, and while like the Queen of Pain and maybe even the Magnus, the Phantom Lancer, they might not care that much about this Spectre Radiance. The Rubik and the Nature's Prophet definitely do. Any time he uses Haunt, pretty much, it's just gonna be dead supports.
Very dead right now. Speaking of other dead supports, Celery is looking to go that way as well. Skewer back, but detection is really expensive, guys. Don't judge us. He's got Glimmer Cape again in 5 seconds. The problem is I'm not sure if he's going to have mana long enough for that. He will. Now the Haunt turnaround opportunity is going to go in. Onto Ace. The disarm's on him, so he can't even turn around fight right now. Xibe's going to be left behind because he's dead. Chessie, Sonic Wave through. Does get the kill. Pushes on to 2 more, but the last 2 is down to Ace as well, bringing him low. He can't really stand a fight, but he has no choice. He will die. And Shad, now with his team here, might look to just converge on this tier 2 in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's being a right proper chap.
Been saying with that one, huh?
For a while, yes.
Like, you saw him in your pub games, like, that guy's going to be a Chad someday. Chessie, not looking so swole himself. Can't even get the kill on the Toby. Maybe now, though, with the stolen cold snap, Misery might be able to close this one. They get the tick with the Shadow Strike in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Chessie definitely having a rough game. He's trying to get to that BKB now. Once he does get BKB, it's going to be a little bit better for him, but he's still susceptible to getting lassoed and
in general, just murder. Like, the other things, you have to press BKB, right? And you're against a Tiny, which is the other big concern here.
Yeah. And while this is, a very good Phantom Lancer game, I think, like, if his team is struggling that much, then you're still not that happy.
Yeah, this stage in the game is like, who can set me up kills? If I'm going to participate, you need to bring them to me. And, like, while Magnus is a good force for that, this mech first build means that he's not your primary initiation right now.
Yeah, I mean, once the Spectre does get to Manta and potentially his next item, I'm not sure yet. Maybe he just goes for like Abyssal or something. I think when he gets to Manta, even maybe just the Basher, when he gets to that, I think he's gonna be in a prime fighting shape. And they might just be waiting for that. Or they might just wait for the Manta. I think that could also be...
Oh no, they pinged it. They know. CB's been found. He had 10 seconds on that TP, and now you won't even get a chance to use it. Meanwhile, top. That is a very sad Nature's Prophet. And Toby's just going to jollily run away.
Yeah, he didn't even have to use the lasso there, and Prophet goes down once again. It looks like Pi has queued up this Crimson Guard. So trying to get some value out of his hero actually being able to hit creeps.
Is it the physical damage as much, or would you say like something like a pipe would feel better right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely prefer a pipe. It's just that maybe the Magnus wants to buy a pipe eventually. I'm not sure what they have in mind, but yeah, no, I would have much rather seen a pipe unless the Magnus already has claimed that, you know, I'm getting the pipe. So I think that would be much more useful.
Just like 10 minutes from now, Pi's like, where's your pipe? It's like, soon.
Where's your pipe?
Oh, there it is. Pie cat.
Boop. Pipe cat.
Pipe cat.
That's what they called me.
I mean, I don't recall you ever building a pipe, so I'm guessing you actually smoked a pipe.
I used to play a lot of Axe, okay? I built my fair share of pipes in the day.
Let's be honest, how many more times did you build an axe, though?
An axe?
Axe. Oh, what did it do back
It's
then?
happened.
Like, it's had a few different ones, right?
Yeah, what did it do, actually? It's a good question.
It might just been one of those lame ones where it's like, yeah, we'll just increase the thresholds on like your ultimate.
Yeah, it might have been something boring like that. It's definitely possible. I mean, this one is much better, I think.
Oh yeah, the damage reduction is pretty sweet. Like imagine, for example.
Yeah, I mean, in the
against
AoE Battle Hunger, but I mean, yeah, they do find this one more time a kill on Pile I Die, but this is going to be a Roche going down very soon here.
However,
Toby maybe going in for the steal here.
You can try.
Try it.
T-Base watching though.
Looking.
Skewer in, and the Aegis is in the
it.
hands of Ace. The Horn's going to come through. The RP is going to be used only on the Batrider. And Shad is going to chase away Chessie, who had the BKB. The Aegis is already gone. Yes, the Batrider goes down, but 5 men, they're going to lose more here. Xibe, one more tap will bring him down. And Ace now in the middle of no man's land. He needs reinforcements quick. Aramis off the mark with the Avalanche. He thought PL was going aggressive there. Sonic Wave through to push back Shad. They need a lot more damage to bring down the Spectre. They might just have it. Glimmer Cape trying to reduce that damage means that it's actually PL going down first. And Pylai Die arriving in the fight a little bit too late to have a big impact. But maybe now that can turn around. Boom. 4-staffed out of danger. And that might be it. Aramis doesn't want to re-engage even though the Blink is primed.
Yeah, they finally managed to kill that Spectre, but I mean, it takes a lot of time, right? It's not easy for them. That was 2 lives on the Phantom Lancer, right? And he's queuing up this. Looks like he's queuing up a Shadow Blade. He's queuing up Silver Edge already. Huh? Okay.
I was wondering if
he wants to. Yeah, he wants to be able to deal with the PL. I'm just not sure if this is the right approach here. Of course, it's gonna be nice once you get this, so you won't have to face dispersion. But it's just that if you get a Basher, you can deal with a lot of the other heroes, and then the Spectre becomes less of a problem.
That's true. I guess maybe the other side to it is the impact of Celery maybe still. Like, that fight is so close because of that Glimmer Cape, right? If you could just Silver Edge run up and instantly kill an Edge, done.
Yeah, I mean, detection is something that's kind of nice to have, you know. Maybe the Magnus forgoes his Quelling Blade or Cloak or Bracer to just carry one of those. Or some sentries on supports. Wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I was also thinking, like, the break as well, right? Against the Edge. Like, this hero relies a lot on Untouchable. If you just get rid of that, you kill it straight away, then that Glimmer Cape is completely gone.
Sure.
She's gone. But I do like at least that he's looking to be more active. You know, you too often see these PLs that queue up a heart, and you're like, well, it's cool, but I don't know if you have enough damage at that stage, buddy. Which is not something I often say when there's a Magnus in that lineup. But in this case, it might be true just because of how well Spectre's doing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Who himself will be queuing up a heart because Shad is Spectre and he knows how to play Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to this Manta style and then on top of it the heart, it's gonna be very, very difficult to deal with this hero. He's not gonna be going down in the first place. So now there's gonna be an Echo Saber on Ace. Kind of an interesting approach here.
Who's going to be going down here, though? Smoke's going to break. Horn in straight away. Stance comes out to Toby to split up the fight a bit, but Xibe's been caught out. Skewer in. He wants to RP, but he can't. The Avalanche, he finally gets it off, but he's dead. And the steals are going to come out. They do get the Deafening Blast on the Rubik, but they need to retreat now. They did pick off Celery. Ace is in a little bit of trouble here. Toby's looking for that last 2. Instead, he baits himself in and will be brought down. And Shad now needs to retreat. Pylite Die has arrived. Heal through is good, and we'll be able to help them find a kill. Actually, it's on the other side. Aramis finds Misery.
Yeah, I mean, they actually committed the Sonic Wave, and it was like a PL with Alacrity and with Empower. just beating this Enchantress, and it still took them quite a long time to kill her. They eventually did, but I mean that Enchantress is not weak by any means, even ahead of the Tiny in terms of net worth.
No, Salary, he has been known to be greedy where he can be with this hero, but he proves why it's worth it. You know, it's almost always this Glimmercape first, and just always proving how impactful of an item that itself can be.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely putting in a lot of work, Celery, both in terms of the laning stage and also now.
Yeah, because we see some different approach, right? Like we're sitting on Grata, I believe it was yesterday, where he's like, oh, I've had a good start. I'm going to become a right-click Enchantress. Whereas Celery is one of those players that fully leans into the, no, I'm a support and I'm going to stay as that as the game goes on.
Yeah, Celery doesn't... I mean, he's going to be supporting, but he's, you know, in terms of net worth, he's clicking and he's doing a lot of stuff here.
Smoke. Misery's going to break.
Well, this is quite a nice, important here item for 5 men here, fighting this Paladin sword on a Phantom Lancer, so that he's always pretty much just topped off. So it becomes more difficult to find the real one.
This is a very slow deep wood.
And Spectre actually, it seems as he changed his mind from the heart there. He decided to go for the Skadi instead.
Yeah, clearly he knew that Ace was going to find a Paladin sword.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just thinking that he doesn't want to be out of mana in these, and so he wants to have a larger mana pool and maybe, you know, hitting some of these heroes, yeah, like you said, now with the Skadi effect.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a little bit more control initially with the Haunts in these battles. Enchant Quiver being found as well. I mean, you could just keep on Xibe, or you could, like, give it to Firelight Die. Pretty good item for that hero. Things have got awfully quiet. I feel like we've reached that point in the game where both teams are looking at each other and going, I think if we farm for another few minutes, we're better off than you are.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, 5 men, they are taking this very slow, so I think it means, like, they should be thinking that, you know, even though they're behind by quite a bit, they feel like if they just keep dragging the game, they're gonna eventually win it.
I feel like that's so often where you can get in PL games, right? It's like, okay, so what have we got to look forward to? Well, PL's getting close to level 25. Ah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of that is the scary part, right, in this game. Like, if the PL does get to level 25, then it is gonna be very tough to bring him down. The lower cooldown on Doppelganger is just gonna make it very tough to find the real PL and deal enough damage.
It's kind of odd to think this used to be even more absurd of a talent.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be 1 additional second, right? It used to be 5 minus seconds instead of just 4.
Okay, was it 1.6? Because I remember they had that across the board, sort of more or less reduced everything by 25% in the talent trees.
Or was it? Yeah, it might have even been that much. I can't say for sure, but...
Celery. I'm not sure there's the one to initiate on. The Haunt's going to come in straight away on top of Misery. Shad's trying to bring him down, but they've already got rid of Xibe. And now the last two, Dragon in Ace. He's too low on HP to stand and fight, and he hasn't got any left to fight with. Chessie will just blink and BKB TP out, but Firelight Die is not so lucky. Good initiation from Viking, and once again, just 5 men baiting themselves by trying to kill off this Enchantress.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like, a lot of these fights, Chessie's committing the Sonic Wave to this Enchantress, and this fight, he doesn't even go, right? He's still standing. Like, he has the Paladin sword now. He has a lot of regen amplification. He's got the Glimmer and the mech and one charges. I mean, he's a beast, this Enchantress.
And it's like Paladin Sword on an Edge sounds kind of stupid until you, like, remember it's not just lifesteal. It is the amplification of healing, regen, etc. Good lord. This tower is not lasting long. Good old Alacrity Catapult, because, you know, while we've eliminated most things that are silly being allowed on a Catapult, we still allow that one.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. Invoker isn't picked every game. It's not like, you know, part of us.
I remember when it was first shown this Brewmaster, the Earth Ruling with the Alacrity hitting buildings.
Oh god.
Oof, I remember that. That was some rough stuff to watch.
Wasn't that like, I remember there's like a dumb patch where you'd have Chens walking around with like 4 catapults.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, but I remember there was some Chinese team that did it first, like this. I think it was a LANM team They just put this brew with the alacrity on the Earth Panda, and he just, I think it was like 3 or 4 hits for a melee Rex. It was something completely ridiculous.
I'm trying to think like is there anything that even competes with that? Because that one was definitely very far up there. Like maybe when neutral items first came out, and like you could have a lone druid bear with, you know, leveler plus the orbit destruction and a few others. Like, watch this building disappear.
I remember the good old days of Armlet on Lone Druid when it didn't remove the HP when it was active, so it was just constantly active.
Let's not forget the darkest days of having to deal with Lone Druids when they had respawn talents when talents first were introduced.
I mean, the minus 60 seconds on Venomancer, was it?
I think it was 25? Higher for Lone Druid, though, wasn't it? Was it like minus...
I think it was 45 or 40 or 50 or something, but I remember, I think Venom was the highest with like 60. He had like a 40-second respawn time at level 25.
So completely
dumb. And also with the Bloodstone reduced this time, right? So if you had Bloodstone on like Lina, who also I think maybe had one, you just respawn instantly.
Yep. I'm glad we very quickly moved past that very stupid phase of talent introduction.
Those were some dark days. The death timer, yeah, that was not a good idea.
That was also back when the gyrocopter had was a 50 movement speed at level 15, I think. Oof. It was absurd. Like, gee, yeah, this seems balanced in gyro meta. I mean, they'll be able to get it because Viking have just converged towards this bot lane, not really doing much either. As you know, they're hoping someone will come farm. Paladin doesn't have to come out.
Yeah, this is gonna be another free Roach, free Aegis on the peel. Seems kind of odd to give away this once more.
Wow.
Also, she's now on the Queen of Pain, but
let's be fair. The last one wasn't exactly free for 5 men.
Yeah, I mean the fight kind of happened after, and yeah, okay, so it wasn't entirely free, but this one was definitely free in pretty much in every sense.
Yeah, this one
and
was
now
like
there's a Silver Edge and an Aegis on the peel, so he's gonna be ready to fight here.
I'm imagining bad things for Shad right now.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like this, right? The duration of the Silver Edge is what is it? Is it 4 seconds? And I mean, killing the Spectre is not gonna take. I mean, it's not gonna happen in 4 seconds. There's no way he dies that quickly.
No, not with the Skadi and the fact he's carrying a repair kit around at all times because it's a juicy 25 HP regen. But
yeah, and once he gets to, if he gets to this 25, I'm curious. He might still just take the Dispersion talent despite there being a Silver Edge, just because how strong it is. I mean, the Silver Edge, the uptime on that item is not that great since PL does not have a cooldown talent.
Yeah, Eva could be decent, right? Because we've already seen the initial impact of Haunt, but ultimately, like, you know, that's going to kind of pit her off a little bit, whereas the Dispersions are just going to get more valuable as the game goes on. And there's Silver Edge, but it doesn't work because it's the Ghost Scepter. Now the Haunt, they're trying to turn around onto Ace. They're going to go for the back line instead. Sonic Wave through to break up the fight a little bit. But these heroes on Viking are a little bit too tanky. And the Dispersion damage has already done its work with that Haunt. Chessie has to eat the cheese just to survive. Meanwhile, Ace is being kited by Boom this entire time. And Boom is ready to drag this back towards Shad, who's ready to fight. He's chasing through on a Chessie right now. Tree gets tossed into his face with the Avalanche. They find the kill on the Queen of Pain. They turn around for the Nature's Prophet as well. And Rubik with the bold TP in. Might be too late to save anyone here. Pylai died trying to TP away, but the Dispersion gets him. Lassie on the side will be able to find the Aegis. And Ace is now coming up into a big fat mess because his whole team cannot support him here. T-Bay is looking for an opportunity. He still has the RP. The buyback comes out from the Nature's Prophet. Celery is brought low. Skewer, RP, there it is. Straight away on the Shad being caught in there, but the Ghost Scepter means they can't finish off Celery either. And T-Bay is going to be brought down. Ace doesn't have a clear target. These Ghost Scepters have completely counted his hero. And at this point, Silver Edge, you're looking at it and you're wishing you could trade it in for a Nullifier.
I mean, he was alive for so long, but they actually couldn't kill a single hero there. The Enchantress with the Ghost Scepter, with the Glimmer Cape, with the Batrider, Yules, and Ghost Scepter, Invoker, just mobility, 4 staffs in this Shivas.
Honestly,
was just not able to do anything in that fight.
I just want to like highlight Boom and that. That was fantastic. Like we were kind of focusing on what Shad was doing with his initiation, which was really solid and quick. But the amount of time Boom wasted of that PL, back and forth through the ice wall, kiting him with the tornadoes, the Death and Blasts. I have to give it to him, right? From start to finish, Boom's been so impressive in this game.
Yeah, no, I actually just feel like Viking kind of just outclassed 5 men in this game. I mean, in terms of draft, I think 5 men were fine. They had pretty much everything they wanted. You could have changed this Phantom Lancer to a Slark if you wanted to. I feel like we didn't really get to see this Phantom Lancer, do Phantom Lancer things. But I'm not sure if that was because of the hero or because of the play. Because I mean, Jesse just getting solo kill there in the mid lane, and then the Tiny rotating in and helping out. I think this Nature's Prophet 5 felt, even though he did find some impact, I feel like you would much rather have a different hero than Nature's Prophet in a game like this as your 5.
That's
Because
most Nature's Prophet 5 games, though, right? Like, I feel
yeah,
whenever a team falls behind, you look and go, I wish I had a different support.
yeah. I also think I don't know. I could definitely see I could definitely make a case for them just picking Slark instead, because then you benefit so much more from this Empower in the sense that it doesn't reveal the real Slark, whatever, right? Because then you just get to play this Slark game where you would get this kind of early silver edge, you get diffuse or like BKB, whatever you want, and you can all of a sudden be the aggressor. Like now they just got too far behind, and then they didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Definitely impressed with the way that Viking executed. Like we said, this team likes to play aggressive. And I think if there's any moment you can kind of highlight that unlocked that aggression that was key to their success in this game, it was that start for Invoker in the mid lane versus the Queen of Pain, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just Boom, just outplaying Chessy there, or Chessy maybe just not knowing what he got himself into.
He got himself into a Boom lane, and Boom is no pushover, as with his assistance and the rest of his boys, Vikings are reigning supreme over fellow man. And 5 men, now 1 game down, 1 to go up against Viking. Let's see if they can actually yoink some points away, or if this is going to be a 2-0 in favor of the Viking boys.